go.
So Angela, if I may start quite literally, you've always used music very interestingly in all your films, but I think this is the first time we've seen it so explicitly used as a narrative device, particularly as sort of a healing or redemptive force for the characters. I mean, and obviously titling the film Music. And I'm interested to know if music was your sort of impetus, your starting point for this story.
Actually, it was not the starting point. So the starting point was the myth, and there was this this moment in the narrative where Oedipus discovers what had happened, and in the myth, as you maybe know, he blinds himself, so and I imagined that moment, and I understood that I do not want to tell it like that, or I do not want to show that moment like that, so the narrative would change. And I had so the thought came to my mind that he will scream, and then through that scream, or the scream would develop to music. So this was what came to my mind, and from that moment on, music was in the film.
Right. And there's something following on from music. The way it works with the images in this film is really quite striking. I think of something very Baroque, almost biblical. Obviously, ancient Greece is in there, almost operatic, obviously also with the use of Vivaldi and so on. And I was curious to know about your how suffering is portrayed in this film visually. We have the bloody feet, the wounded feet, and also this constant, a baby is often crying, they're repeated images. And I was interested if that was also a driving force for you in this film.
The question, the subject of suffering.
Suffering, yes.
Yeah, I mean, suffering is the subject. I mean, suffering is not only my subject; it's the subject of everyone. I think of every narrative of you suffer, and how do you overcome the suffering? This is the narrative of almost every narrative.
Yeah, but there's also so much care. I mean, I see so much care in this film as well. This very touching moment of her going to the apotheke to get the medication for him and so on. And I guess that leads me also to ask about your casting. I mean, we see some regulars from your other films throughout the film, but your two main performers, I believe the first time you've worked with them, Aliocha Schneider and Agathe Bonitzer. Can you tell us about how you came to cast them?
Yes, sure. So the casting process was influenced by the specific conditions of the production. So it was a co-production with France, and so it was somehow asked that we have French actors. At the same time, I wanted to shoot in Greece, so I wanted to have Greek actors. So I was, and also it was during the pandemic, so it was not so easy to do castings, to meet people, and I was doing a lot of online research. And so Agathe Bonitzer I already knew through other films, and I was in the mood to meet her and to find out more about a possible collaboration. And yes, with the main part of now is playing Aliocha Schneider. The main thing was that he should be able to sing, so I was searching singers, and then I found him. So, yeah, I mean, it was mainly a process of online research, and then of very, very few possibilities of meeting people. And then also it played a big role because it's mother and son. So how do they look together? How do they fit? This word is too weak somehow for what it is. I mean, how do they come together? How do they? Yeah, how would it be if you have those two faces and physics and bodies in a film? So it was a lot about imagining something which I could not see in the moment I would have liked to see it, because it was not possible. And yeah, and then so I decided, and then they learned Greek, which is not their language, but I said it's no problem because it's only very few sentences.
They're very good. Agathe's accent is really fantastic, the Greek one.
Yeah, I mean, for me it was difficult to say. I really, I needed to trust others the Greek in Greece, the Greek team members who confirmed that it's okay, because I do not speak Greek. But I understood somehow that, I was not too concerned. I understood that they will make it.
Do we have questions? We have a microphone. Yes, there's a couple at the back. Maybe right at the back first.
Thank you so much for the film. I have a naive question. So my apologies. If it's too naive, you just say get out and I'll understand. But I have a question about the craft of screenplay. It was mentioned that you won at Berlin on screenplay. I understand direction and imagery and editing, but I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the craft of the screenplay, maybe in relation to a particular moment in the movie, when the protagonist calls Lucian's parents. It's one of the moments where we have the most dialogue in the movie. And I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit about how you approach the screenplays, how you understand the craft of a screenplay, and specifically maybe if that moment helps us understand your approach in any way.
The screenplay for me is very profound and decisive, because everything is written in the screenplay, and everything which is possible to imagine and to prepare is written in the screenplay. I do not leave any space in the screenplay for improvisation or so everything which I'm able to imagine, I write down, and I think it's very decisive. It's the base of everything. And so you talk about the phone call, and it was quite clear that there will be a moment where it will be necessary to talk. And this will be a specific moment, because before there's not a lot of talk. And so I just can say I was very aware of that, and also aware of using doing it as a phone call where one person is not present, which plays a strong role. Someone is talking and the other one is talking but not visible. And yes, how can I say? I do not know how this is. I mean, you started with the fact that I won the screenplay prize, but I think that doesn't mean so much. I won the screenplay prize because in the dynamic of a jury and of a festival and of the options,
And
it
you'd
was
already
in the
won
end a
Best
screenplay
Director.
prize, and I was very happy to I do not care somehow. It was good to win a prize. But it was very clear that this is somehow surprising to win a prize, a screenplay prize for a screenplay which, I mean, no one wanted to fund the screenplay. This is the one point. But the other point is also that it's a screenplay which, without dialogues. But this is the specific dynamic of juries and festivals. This doesn't mean so much.
Thank you.
Was there another one at the back? Yes.
Thank you. I'm curious to know more about the use of water as a motif throughout the film. We see it in key scenes. I just wanted to know if you could talk a little bit about that choice.
Water?
That's right. We see it with the ocean, and we see it when they're holding hands under the faucet. We see Phoebe drinking when her grandfather is washing, and towards the end we see water as well. Was that a conscious choice, or that's just happened to be?
I mean conscious choice. So this is deeply connected with the location and with the decision to shoot in a country which is surrounded by water, and also the process of finding locations and understanding why you choose specific locations, and how can I say this? I mean, swimming in water, being able to die in water, the force of water. Yeah, this all gave me ideas or opportunities for the film. But it was not that in the beginning I thought, I want to work with this. This came through the narrative and through the process.
Other questions? Yes, Abby.
Hi. I have a loud voice. I don't know if you want me to just.
It's coming.
Okay. Hi. All the staring and the watching, the characters like just looking endlessly. Just wondering from your point of view, what does that mean? What did you mean by having them do that? That's basically my question.
So basic is what you say. It's endlessly. Nothing is endlessly. This is the first thing. Everything ends. Also in that film.
Extended. I think I said extended. Yeah.
No, you said endlessly.
Did I? Okay, I'm sorry.
And I think it's very interesting to see someone watching because he's completely focused, and he through being focused, he's getting rid of himself. He's not aware of himself in this moment. He's aware of something else outside him or her, something he's seeing. And this is very interesting for me because it's an opportunity for me to show someone, to show a face, to show the lines of a face, to show the expression of a face. And this is independent from the question, what is this person seeing? So I feel completely free to decide, do I show what the person is seeing? And if I decide to show it, when do I show it? Directly afterwards, or maybe several images later?
Gotcha. Thank you.
Hi. The title of the film is Music, and for the first part of the film, there is no music, or at least I didn't hear music. And at the end, it's all music. So I just wanted to get your thought process of deliberately leaving out music at the beginning, and at the end, it's all music.
Yes. So to start thinking about music and to work with music in a film, in that particular space, it meant for me, could I work, or could I tell something about the idea where music comes from? And if I tell something about where it comes from, it means in the beginning it is not there. And there will be a moment where it appears, and it's about finding out when this will be in the whole narrative. Yes.
Hi. With Oedipus, you've chosen a mythical figure with a very long career through history and media. And were there any particular texts or versions of Oedipus that you looked to? Of course, Sophocles, I assume, but were there other films or plays, Pasolini, Hubert Fichte, Freud, Deleuze, or was there any Oedipus that struck you particularly for this film?
So there was a theater a performance of Oedipus, which was done in the 80s, which was in my mind when from the very beginning I started to work. And I saw for sure the Pasolini, which is something else. And but it was not at all that I had complete research. I did a research. I never do any research. Somehow this doesn't help me further. I was very aware of the myth. I was very aware of what Sophocles did with it. I was aware in a sense that I could forget it and start writing without losing it. I feel that this myth is so strong that I cannot destroy it. It plays no role what I do for the myth. The myth exists. I'm just free to do what I think is. It sounds strange, but I think what I want to do. How can I say? I can follow my path somehow through the myth. And when I knew the film of Pasolini, and I also was in the mood to see it again. And I mean, this is an extremely strong and fantastic film. Nevertheless, it's not about the myth, it's about my work. And I can work independent from everything. So
well, we'll have to leave it there, unfortunately, but please thank Angela Schanelec for being here. Thank you for your questions. Also.
Thank you very much.